Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer. We are in the Norska patch, but not quite with Norska, although we do have some Marauders here. We are indeed playing Chaos, so the Warriors of Chaos with some of the new Regiments of Renown. My forces are led by Big Bird, as we are facing off against an Empire opponent. Definitely still a big fan of Big Bird, one of my favorite legendary lords. And you guys will see he's quite tanky when you put him with these Swords of Chaos. Speaking of which, this is one of the new Regiments of Renown, and good golly gosh, the Chaos units are some of the best looking in the game in my opinion, and these guys, I do wish they had some sort of badass helmets, but you know, the horns and the various gifts, quote unquote, I guess, do look very cool. So, and they got the flame effects, they got the badass shields, flaming swords, a lot to like here. So they do indeed have this Guardian ability. So what it is plus 36% physical resistance to any lord or hero within the area of effect. So kind of encouraging you to form up a goon squad. These guys are supposed to be Archaeon's bodyguards, but of course the Lord of Change cares not and will simply change them to his ways. But yeah, they've got that very good ability. With that, it gives you can see Big Bird here now has missile resistance, physical resistance, and magic resistance. So pretty much resistant to almost all types of damage, at least in some way, except for only having 30 armor, of course. So definitely like this counterplay, just because Big Bird, you know, with all his innate ward saves, you add that on top and he becomes even harder to kill. So very much like this. Plus they can help screen and defend from, you know, Boris or Demigryph Knights. In order to afford these Regiments of Renown, I've cut down my regular Big Bird army a little bit. We've only got 4 Marauders, still got the 2 Aspiring Champions and 4 Forsaken. However, one of them is the brand new Demon Spew. These guys are very, very cool. Basically green Forsaken. Are they Forsaken greenskins? No, I don't think so. But still, very cool looking. They're going to be bringing the green tide in this battle. And we do have, of course, the 2 chariots. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, the 2 obligatory Marauders with throwing axes as well. For my opponent's force, he's got a center line of 3 great swords, as well as a flagellant on this flank, 2 units of crossbowmen, 3 units of spearmen, the Royal Altdorf Griffites, as well as these Demigryph Knights with halberds. So interesting. These great swords will definitely, you know, clear through pretty much all of my infantry. I'm curious to see how the Demon Spew, if we can get them matched up one-on-one. I doubt that'll happen because of their position out here on the flank, but you know, it definitely would be an interesting engagement to see. Great swords, I think, would win that fight, but you never know. But with the support of the chariots and the lore of metal, hopefully we can get through here. He does have Boris Todbringer with the, looks like the Midland Runefang, of course, as well as Crush the Weak. So very fun stuff, and Stand Your Ground, as well as having an Amber Wizard, which definitely going for a powerful flying squad here. He's got Wildheart, as well as Flock of Doom, so very interesting. We're going to get these Marauder Horsemen up on this flank here. They are being called, now that their people are risen, the Chaos Gods do call them to battle, and they will respond with, you know, any way they can. It's going to be a good time here as we march these 2 forces together. We'll fast forward a bit. I'm just outmaneuvering my opponent's crossbowmen, just trying to distract them, not allowing them to get any clear shots. And one thing is, if I do recommend you turn on the Arc of Fire. I'll get to that in my UI video next week, but if you can run outside the arc of their fire, because it's a cone, you know, you can try and just run out the side of it, and they'll continuously have to turn. But you can see the chariots now coming in for a charge in the front line, and then immediately going to pull back since the Demigryph Knights are nearby. Not going to be able to get back very well, but they did get some effective damage done there on the initial charge. The Marauders and the Forsaken have engaged, and you know, we're getting things started here. Big Bird is getting, you know, just standing here, not really getting harassed too much. These Swords of Chaos are going to be able to keep him relatively safe. And now these Demon Spew are going to get into the back line of these Flagellants and absolutely mop them, you know, mop the floor with them, just absolutely poison them and just beat them down. But Boris now coming down, terrifying off some of the Marauders, but because this pocket's so healthy, these Marauders won't rout. Over here, we're dropping the Overcast, Plague of Rust on these Royal Altdorf Griffites. The Swords of Chaos charging in. You can see fairly even trade so far. The armor piercing of the Swords of Chaos will help them here, although the anti-infantry is not necessarily pertinent. However, with the Plague of Rust and everything, they're doing okay. Not as well as I would have hoped, so this is probably not an engagement you want to take head up like this. Just a bit of learning for you guys. So the crossbowmen so far haven't been able to be effective. Only 3 kills on them. Those ones routed off, only getting 2 kills. The Amber Wizard's trying to get into the back of these Forsaken here, but they're just mopping house with everything in the back line. The Chariots are continuing to cycle around, getting bogged down a little bit, but they'll be able to hold their own okay, and as long as they can still pull away without taking too much damage. Boris got in here, and he's smacking Sarthorael around a little bit, so I'm going to try and get out of there while the Swords of Chaos hold. But they have only 6 models left. They have killed 8 Demigryph Knights, however, they are very low on leadership at this point and going to rout. We are bringing in the armor-piercing missiles just to help, and I did mistakenly pull my Chariots in here, but I'm going to immediately pull them back to the infantry fight where they belong. The Forsaken will be able to chase down here, but I should have probably detached the Demon Spew to be on this flank so they could poison the Demigryph Knights and chase them down, you know, with their high weapon strength. But we're going to get an upgraded Plague of Rust on Boris, sending him down to 25 armor. He does dive into the Horsemen, probably going to terror route them off, but Big Bird's going to try and get out of here. The Forsaken will be able to do some damage, although this probably wasn't great. Probably should have put it on the Demigryph Knights in this situation, just because I didn't have enough to go on Boris. But you can see the Swords of Chaos have rallied. Unfortunately, they're not near Sarthorael, so they're not able to give him their, you know, Guardian buff. However, they are going to get into the back of these Demigryph Knights who are pulling away and be able to do a fair amount of damage to him with their armor piercing. So pretty good. The Amber Wizard's been routed off. Big Bird came in and got a couple good hits there. He's getting pretty low, but due to his unbreakable nature, he will be able to stay in the fight. These Demigryph Knights actually get terrified off. The Royal Altdorf Griffites get routed, and at this point it's looking fairly grim for my opponent. These crossbowmen get back here, getting caught by Marauder Horsemen. Very good situation. Marauder Horsemen actually have pretty decent combat stats, so they're good in this type of roles. So Boris now diving in one more time. He's going to get surrounded by the Swords of Chaos, and we'll get a nice cinematic shot of him battling there. And unfortunately, the battle ended right when I was getting that. So well played to my opponent. Definitely had fun. I do like the new Regiments of Renown for Chaos. I don't know that they're anything groundbreaking. Archaeon is certainly better with these bodyguards. I haven't gotten to play too many games with him yet, but it seems like he'd be pretty good against Norska just because they have a relative weakness to fire. But yeah, I definitely like them. They were able to help defend Big Bird. Really got down and dirty with those Demigryph Knights. Probably not the best fight for them, so lesson learned there. These Demon Spew got a ton of kills, as well as this Forsaken getting 139. Very, very good. These are the guys who got into the crossbowmen, so great for them. Marauders doing what they do. The Chariots also racking up a good number of kills each, so very, very good time for my opponent's force. This unit of Demigryph Knights picked up a Chevron battling the Swords of Chaos. Definitely not favorable engagement for the Swords of Chaos, so duly noted. These guys both, you know, most of those kills combined are on the Swords of Chaos. Some of them might have come on some other infantry, but the Greatsword's just not able to perform because of the Chariots, and crossbowmen are not a great pick against the Warriors of Chaos. I mean, unless he was expecting a ton of Marauders, which, granted, I have brought a ton of Marauders before, but in this build only 4, you know, so his crossbows weren't able to be terribly effective. So well played to my opponent. Enjoyed playing that battle. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I've got more content from the current patch coming over the weekend, so stay tuned for more. Thank you very much for your support. Keep mashing that like button and sharing with your friends. I do appreciate every bit of that, and we'll see you next time.